Woo! Y'all ain't know why, right?
Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Softball Edition, and my guest for the final episode here in 2019 is none other than senior first baseman on the softball team, making her third and final appearance on Unrooted. It's Regina Juarez. Regina, thanks so much for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
You're very welcome. Now let's start by talking about your memories here at Menlo College. This is your fourth and final year as an Oak. What are some of your favorite memories of not just the softball team, but also of Menlo College in general?
Honestly, being here at Menlo College for the last 4 years was probably like the best 4 years of my life, just because the environment here is so strong, and I really enjoyed making friends with not only my teammates but people on other athletic teams. With my favorite memories for softball, I actually have 4 from each year. My freshman year being my favorite memory was going to Disneyland with my team.
Hard to beat that.
Yep, it was a happy place. Sophomore year, it's actually not one of my favorite memories, but looking back on it, it's pretty funny. So after I got cleared from my hip injury, I was able to travel with my team up to SoCal to compete in a tournament, and I actually forgot my entire softball bag.
Yeah. How do you forget your softball bag?
I had equipment that weekend, so I had my equipment, my backpack, and then my travel clothes. So I thought I had everything, and then as I look under the bus, I start going to each of my teammates, and I'm just like, who has my bag? Like, stop playing around. And everyone's like, we don't have your bag. Like, we're not playing around. And I'm just like looking everywhere in the bus, and then I had to call a friend, and they're like, yeah, your bag's right next to your door.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What did you do that weekend?
Well, I had to borrow some cleats from a teammate. Luckily, my coach was left-handed, so I got to borrow her glove, but my coaches weren't very happy.
No,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So going back to junior year, I'd say my favorite memory is just competing in our so-called Oak Olympics. So we have we separate our teams, and we compete every week in a challenge. And I think just watching Brooke Shigematsu and Brooke Menacini fight over everything was just the highlight of that year. Like any competition, they just fight.
That's how they are.
Yeah. Someone had to come out the winner, and it was always one of them, and the other one would just be really upset for the whole day.
Of course, yeah. And then what about your senior year?
My senior year, actually, it was a sad beginning, but a happy ending. So I fractured my finger, so I wasn't able to travel to Idaho for our tournament. So I got to hang out with some of the soccer girls, Corey and Maddie Jessup. And we actually had a great weekend. We went to the beach, we hung out, and they felt like they were my teammates. So I could always say oh, you're my teammates now. Yeah.
The beautiful thing about intercollegiate athletics at Menlo College, getting to hang out with all the other teams and being so very close to all of them. And I'm sure for you also a highlight, coming back from the injury and then making the number 2 play of the week on the NAI Top Plays a couple weeks ago, that sliding catch against Hope International.
Yes.
A lot of your teammates were saying they'd never seen you run that fast before. Was that true?
Yeah, they just said that I just look like a fast rabbit, because we like to say our runners are rabbits if they're really fast. So the whole last week everyone kept saying oh, you're a rabbit, but actually I'm moderate, so not too fast. So I was just yes, I'm a rabbit.
Well, I mean, within the blink of an eye, you made the play and then threw back to first base, so that was pretty awesome. Now, in the final brownie bite that you will ever be mentioned in, Keely Hernandez told me that you have forgotten to return many things to her. In particular, there was one top she mentioned. She said it was a cardigan or a flannel. Do you have any secret stash, in your dorm room or something, that just is filled with belongings from other teammates?
It's actually funny that you say this. So I actually forgot I had that flannel until last week. I was cleaning out my room, and I was like, oh my God, Keely, I'm so sorry. I forgot to give this back to you. But if I borrow a shirt or my teammates leave their clothes in my room, I just throw it in this miscellaneous bin in my closet. Ari likes to call it the black hole.
So it really is just a secret stash, kind of, because it's miscellaneous and it's just filled with all kinds of random stuff.
Yeah, honestly, if I was to go in it right now, I'd probably have a few other of my teammates' clothing in there.
Oh yeah, you'd probably find stuff from all the way back freshman year that belongs to Alyssa Seva Atasi or something, and you're just like, why do I have this in my dorm room? I'm a senior now. That was when I was a freshman.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have a shirt of Shiggy's in my closet. So, yeah.
Come on, give it back to her.
I know. I told her, like, she should come get it, but she always forgets.
I was going to say, she'll forget,
yeah.
And then when she forgets, you forget, and then you're just going to hang on to it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, definitely. So, mine now.
Now, let's talk a little about the team here. It's been a while, seemingly, since the Oaks took on Hope International and swept that doubleheader on the 13th. Is that something that's still fresh in your minds, or are you trying to put that behind you, or are you trying to carry that momentum on with you as you move into the final week of the season?
I think it's definitely still fresh in our minds just because that game that we played against Hope, it was a totally different team from when we were a totally different team from when we first started playing the season. So I think that just like lit a fire in us and like pretty much showed us that we could beat anyone like even if like they're the number 9 ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, this interview is being filmed before you and Sarah Reyes have your senior day on Wednesday against William Jessup. How supportive have the other players on the team been with regards to making sure that this season winds up being an enjoyable one for you guys?
My teammates definitely just been so loving and caring this whole season. Coming in with, 11 freshmen, they're just so, I could tell, they look up to us. So, I like to call them all my little babies. So, I feel like they just been making sure that we're enjoying our season, just constantly saying oh, are you ready for Wednesday? Today they kept saying are you ready for tomorrow? And I'm just what's tomorrow? I'm kind of in denial.
Yeah. Now as you wrap up the regular season, which will end tomorrow against William Jessup, what are some things that you're going to look back on at this season that helped you carry through to finish the season on a really high note?
Definitely there's a few things, but I'd like to say the sports performance program, over the summer I was able to stay here and work out, and I think that was really big help for me just because coming off an injury it's hard to maintain staying healthy. So Carl made a card for me just to make sure my hips are healthy, I'm strong. And also another person I like to shout out is Justin. He's definitely been helping me the past 2 years with just making sure I'm getting the right treatment. And also, since I'm, in the athletic training room, a lot.
All the time.
Yeah. I kind of call it my second home. I've kind of, got to have relationships with Kristen and Rachel. Kristen game readies my hips every day, and Rachel wraps my hips. So it's just, a fun inside joke to just say, oh, thanks for doing that.
It's been a total team effort to get Regina Juarez healthy and ready to go for every single game day this season.
Definitely.
Now the eyes are on the playoffs. The 2019 GSAC playoffs begin on Tuesday down in Irvine. You've been in these tournaments before. What's it going to take for the Oaks to make a deep run?
I think what's it going to take is that each, the difference between, the game of softball is, each team could come in, differently. So I think we just need to continue with our strategy of nameless, faceless opponents and just keep continuing to play our game and fix our, maybe fix up our defense a bit. And I think we can make a long run in GSAC.
As we've seen before in these tournaments, they are absolutely wide open. And if you come into the tournament hot, like you ladies have been the past couple of weeks now, who knows?
Yes.
You could wind up being a 3-seed or a 4-seed that winds up surprising a few people in the tournament. All right, Regina, let's get into the final segment, your final brownie bites ever. You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1, as the first 2 are brownie related. Who could eat the most actual brownie bites?
I would have to say Ari Belardi, just because last week my friend gave me a big bag of Costco candy, and we both managed to eat it within 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Important question, what kind of candies was it?
It was Reese's, Twix, Kit Kats, Hershey's, just the best chocolate ever.
I was going to say, you literally just named off the best candies in the world.
Yeah.
Why didn't you invite me over?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I would have helped you finish that in 2 days. Easily. Maybe 1 day.
Yeah. I was a bit surprised.
If it were summer and you're not in season, it could have been a 1 day bag.
Yeah, it could have.
Let's be real. That could have been a 1 day bag. Question number 2, which teammate could make the best brownie bites?
I'd have to pick between two of my teammates, one being Maddie Sepp. She's constantly actually bringing brownies from home, and she gives them to us, so they're actually really good. And another person I'd say is Lauren Harrison, just because she was talking about when she was 12, she actually asked Santa for like a baking kit. Like she had the roller, the recipe book, the little frosting tips. And I just thought that was funny because like she was 12 and she asked Santa for it.
Has she still been working on her craft since then, or was that a phase that kind of went away as she hit 13?
I think it was a phase, but I think they definitely should have a brownie cook-off and let me be the taste tester.
I want to be a taste tester too.
Okay, yeah, you could be a taste tester.
Well, and we need a third person.
Maybe Ari.
I was going to say, let's get Ari on her. So that'll be the panel. We'll have one alumni, one senior, and me. That would be that'd be the three people, the three panelists to judge this brownie making contest. I mean, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't do it.
Yes, may the best brownie maker win.
And may us win too, because we get to eat these brownies. So that makes me happy. And then question number 3, if you could go on a comedy tour with one other teammate, who would be your co-star on this comedy tour and why?
Without a doubt, I'd definitely say Taylor Warren. Just because it's kind of like a joke between us. Like, we are literally the same person. Like, we laugh at the same things. We say the same thing at the same time. And then, like, we'll just look at each other and keep staring. And I think it's just funny because, like, no one, like, finds what we find funny. But we'll just, like, laugh for about, like, 3 minutes straight.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Would you ever do stand-up comedy?
No.
I knew you would
I get
say
too
that.
nervous.
I knew you would say
I'm
that.
already sweating right now.
You're nervous every time you step in here to do this interview, even though we just got through the interview and
Yes.
you didn't mess up once.
First time.
We didn't have to stop at all. She didn't have to bring out the bleep button. Regina Juarez made it. Regina, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're
It was
very
a
welcome.
pleasure.
Folks, the softball team, they wrap up their season on a Wednesday. This episode's airing Friday, so the regular season is over by the time you see this interview, and that means it's playoff time as the Oaks begin the 2019 GSAC playoffs on Tuesday down at the OC Great Park in Irvine, California. Seeding will be determined after Wednesday, but we're filming it on Tuesday. I have no idea what the seeding is going to be. So the Oaks are either going to be a 3, 4, or a 5, but they'll be playing early in the day on Tuesday. And I'll be heading down there to be on the call. So go ahead and tune in. You can find the stream on the website for Hope International University. Also, one last bit for you. I saw this in an email. It's your birthday this week, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Is it today?
No, it's actually Friday.
Okay, I was hoping maybe we could get you in on the same day as your birthday like Keely last week. That would have been really hilarious. So let me be the first to say, probably not the first to say, but happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in all season long on Unrooted. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we hope you have a fantastic summer.